Hello everyone. Today I wanted to talk about the power of self-honesty. We can either admit our mistakes to ourselves in our inner depths, or we can let our actions continually show that wrongness instead. The power of being honest is that while it is painful, it catalyzes personal growth and makes it happen a lot faster. What is personal growth? Personal growth is an ability to become more self aware, to have more perspective, to be able to step into other people's shoes, and to be able to acknowledge our mistakes faster and therefore to correct them. These could be practical mistakes to do with our professional or business life, or to do with more personal things like our relationships and how we organize our lives as well. And in doing so, we achieve a first step to transformation, which is awareness of that which is what you would like to change. Something is an issue, it causes you some annoyance. And if you have seen the shadow work videos that I've made, quite often what happens is the inner problem or something that we're in denial about, that we reject, that we don't want to see in ourselves, that gets projected outwards. So it's other people's fault that something is a problem, or we might use a label to justify our behavior. And labels can be quite stifling in that way as well. So if we take a moment to be mindful and to be willing to explore ourselves and to just ask the question, where have I got this wrong? What could be better? What is my part of responsibility for this situation? In many situations, it does take two to tango. It's just that the human temptation is often to assign responsibility almost completely to the other person. And even when two people reconcile after having like an argument or a fight, um, or some sort of dispute, the apologies can be quite superficial. What gets emphasized more is what was misunderstood, but there isn't so much of a taking of responsibility. It's more like, oh, I thought you meant this. My intention was that. I didn't mean to come across this way to you. But a deeper level, yet still, is to own our inner shadow and to say and admit that yes, I am responsible for that. I could have understood you better in that situation, and we can even make a commitment to change as well. When we make a commitment to change, that this doesn't mean that we go straight away from 0 to 100, like just instant total transformation. It's just more of a gradual process. We commit to the process rather than to manifest the result that we want straight away. And therefore, we give ourselves compassion and also patience in our own inner transformation after we've made these insights about the parts that we play in the situations that trouble us. And it need not be a depressing process either to look at yourself and to realize the sorts of wrongs that we've done. Often, with projection, there's an element of hypocrisy to it. I thought that they were doing this or were feeling this way, but actually I was, and that's quite painful to see indeed. But we can also laugh at ourselves at the same time and take joy in the fact that often we deceive ourselves. It's incredibly humbling. It keeps our mind open. And the more that we make this a routine, the more open minded we stay to our own misperceptions, our assumptions, and also the areas of life that we're in denial about. And by leveling ourselves down to be humble and to see things as they are, like we are, in a sense, imperfect beings. I personally believe that we're perfectly imperfect, but just by focusing on that word imperfect, by just seeing that and accepting that in ourselves, we can also then accept that in others. And compassion just flows through the whole process of existing and being. Because if you're accepting yourself and you're able to be honest with yourself and take humor out of the self deception that you do, that I do, that we all do, then we just can relax a bit more with life and let that compassion flow. But also, there is a steadiness and an equanimity that comes from making looking at our self-deceptions a habit. And that grounds us and steadies us. We can hold space for our own difficult feelings or projections in a situation and understand that they're at play while it's happening. And by holding that open, steady space for ourselves, from moment to moment, we're also establishing a clearer connection to the truth of things. We're able to put our own inner stuff in a container without projecting that onto the situation, a person, or an idea. And that can be very liberating. So there's many benefits to this self-honesty. Just to recap a final time then on how to do it. Get yourself into a mindful and quiet space. Quite often it's hard to address our difficult feelings, projections, and the urge to blame others and situations or labels when we're right in the middle of triggering situations that are to do with those things. So yeah, get yourself in that space, and then just ask yourself some honest questions about that situation. What did I assume? What did I perhaps misperceive? What parts of responsibility do I hold for it? What investment in that situation did I have? What was I attached to? Was I attached to a certain outcome? Why was that? And by asking these questions in that mindful state, you can get refreshing and insightful answers that expand the scope of who you are. Oh, there's some parts of me that have been swept under the carpet, so to speak, but they've showed up in this situation. But now that I've reconnected with them, I can now take better ownership of them. I can use them in a more constructive way in situations, and I can, well, again, be happier and not be so stressed or take life so seriously, because we're all kind of in on this, we're all playing this joke. A friend of mine characterized self-deception in quite a funny way. You can either be in on the joke or not, but what's happening is it's kind of like we are continually kegging ourselves, pulling our pants down from behind, kind of like in school or something, and that's continually happening, pretty much from situation to situation and thought to thought. Now, we can either be quite angry that we're kegging ourselves without knowing it, or we can be self-aware enough to at least be in on the joke and to get some humour out of it as well as these great insights that I spoke about. So yeah, that's the value of engaging with our self-deceptions, being honest with ourselves, and looking honestly and authentically at the role that we play in the troubling situations that we're in. So yeah, I hope you found this video useful and enjoyable. If you have anything to add or any questions, do let us all know. It'd be great if you could share. Have a great day.